Have you ever been sitting with a woman and felt a little flutter in your chest? Maybe you felt a tiny spark, like a warm light turning on, and you started to wonder if she was feeling that same magic too. It can be so hard to tell, can't it? You don't want to guess wrong, and you certainly don't want to make things uncomfortable. But today, I want to help you see things a little more clearly. I am going to share 3 very quiet, very gentle signs that she is already feeling a deep pull toward you. These aren't big, loud shouts. They are more like soft whispers. And if you stay with me, I'll tell you about the 3rd sign, which is so quiet that it usually happens right under a man's nose without him ever realizing it. Hello, and I am so glad you have joined me again. I am a friend who cares deeply about helping you navigate the beautiful but sometimes confusing world of human connections. I spend a lot of time thinking about how we can all understand each other better as we walk through life together. I've noticed that so many good, kind men really want to connect, but they struggle to hear those quiet, almost invisible signals that a woman gives off when she starts to feel attraction. Before we really get into these 3 signs, there is something very important I want to whisper to your heart. If you have ever spent a long night lying awake, replaying a conversation in your mind and wondering, did she like me? Or was she just being nice? Please don't be hard on yourself. If you've ever walked away from a coffee date or a walk in the park and realized an hour later that you might have missed a special moment, that does not mean you are bad at this. It doesn't mean you lack confidence or that you are awkward. It simply means that no one ever took the time to sit you down and teach you the quiet language of how women show they care. It's a very different language than the one most men speak, and that is perfectly okay. You see, men and women often feel attraction in different ways. For many men, attraction is like a straight line. You see someone wonderful, you feel a pull, and you want to move toward them and show your interest. But for many women, attraction is more like a flower opening up very slowly. It takes time, and it happens in tiny steps. It isn't a sudden run forward. It is more like a woman opening a tiny door in her heart, just a crack, and waiting to see if you notice the light inside. Women often spend time feeling out the room first. They are looking for a sense of safety and a sense of warmth. They want to see if you are curious about them and if there is a shared spark before they let their true feelings show. If you watch very closely, like a bird watcher in a quiet forest, you will see something amazing. Women almost never shout their interest from the rooftops. Instead, they whisper it. They whisper it through the way they stand, the way they look at you, the tone of their voice, and how they move their body when you are near. These moments are so delicate that if you are looking at your phone or worrying about what to say next, you might miss them. But once you know what to look for, the world starts to look different. Patterns start to appear. Situations that used to feel like a puzzle start to make sense. And moments that used to slip by now stand out like a bright star in the sky. I want to ask you a very personal question. Have you ever looked back at a memory from many years ago, maybe a lady you worked with or someone you met at a church social, and suddenly realized, oh, she actually liked me? Maybe she always found a reason to come to your desk to ask a simple question. Maybe she stayed late at a party just to keep talking to you. At the time, you probably told yourself she was just being friendly. You brushed it off because you didn't want to be wrong. I want you to know you are not alone in that. Millions of men feel the same way. It isn't because you aren't smart. It's just that these signals were never part of the school books. Today, we are going to slow down and look at 3 of the clearest whispers of desire. These aren't big dramatic scenes from a movie. They are quiet, real-life signs that a connection is growing. If you find this helpful, let us know by giving this a gentle nod or a like. It helps us keep sharing these heart-to-heart talks about how we all get along. The first sign we should talk about is very simple, but it carries a lot of weight. It is touch. But I'm not talking about a handshake or an accidental bump in a crowded hallway. I'm talking about those tiny moments when a woman finds a reason to touch you when she didn't really have to. It's not a quick pat on the back like a teammate would give. It's something different. It's intentional, even if she doesn't even realize she's doing it. People who study the brain say that when we like someone, our bodies naturally want to be closer to them. Touch becomes like a little bridge between 2 people. Imagine you are standing and talking to a lady, and you both laugh at a funny story. As she laughs, she reaches out and puts her hand on your arm for just a second. Then, she leaves it there for just one heartbeat longer than she needs to. It's not a big deal, but your brain notices that extra second. That little pause is so important. It shows she feels comfortable and safe with you. Comfort is the foundation of everything. When someone feels nervous or doesn't like being around someone, they keep their distance. They stay guarded. But when a woman feels warmth and curiosity, her body relaxes. She might fix your collar and laugh, or tap your hand to make a point. I remember a story a man told me once. He was at a small party and he met a woman he really liked. They talked about music and where they grew up. While they were talking, she reached out and brushed a tiny piece of fluff off his sleeve. He thought she was just being tidy. Later, she touched his arm while they were laughing. He didn't think much of it until months later when they met again. She told him, "I kept trying to touch your arm that night because I wanted to see if you felt the same spark I did." He had missed every single sign. This happens all the time because men are looking for loud signals. But attraction is a quiet thing. There is actually a lot of science behind this. When we are near someone we like, our bodies release a special chemical called oxytocin. Some people call it the cuddle hormone or the bonding chemical. It makes us feel safe and happy and connected. Physical touch helps release this chemical. So when a lady touches your arm, her body might just be reacting to how good she feels being near you. It's her way of saying she's happy in your company. Now, one touch might not mean everything, but if it happens over and over, she is telling you a story with her hands. If you have ever noticed this happening to you, feel free to write the word touch in our shared space here. It's a good way to stop and think about your own life. Now let's look at the second signal. This one is even more powerful because it lives in the eyes. You've probably heard people say that the eyes are the windows to the soul. That sounds very fancy, but there is a lot of truth to it. We say so much with our eyes without ever opening our mouths. We show interest, trust, and even love through our gaze. When a woman starts to feel a pull toward you, the way she looks at you changes. It isn't that she just stares at you. That would be a bit much. Instead, it's a rhythm. She looks at you, holds your gaze for a second, then looks down or away with a soft smile. A few moments later, she looks back again. This little dance, look, soften, look away, and return, is one of the most beautiful whispers of attraction. Much of this happens without her even thinking about it. Did you know that when we look at someone we find attractive, the little black circles in our eyes, the pupils, actually get bigger? It's a natural reaction our bodies have that we can't control. It's the brain's way of saying, I like what I see, let in more light. You don't need to carry a magnifying glass to check her eyes, of course, but you can feel the softness in her gaze. It feels warm and present, not rushed or distracted. Think about a time you were having a deep talk with someone. She's looking at you, her face is soft, and she's smiling just a little bit. She listens so closely that she remembers the small things you said 10 minutes ago. She isn't just being polite, she is truly invested in who you are. This kind of attention is a gift. It means you are the most important person in the room to her right now. I heard about a man who was at a big dinner. The room was loud and full of people, but he noticed that every time he spoke, a woman across the table would turn her whole body toward him. She would look at him, smile, and then look down at her plate before looking back. He said that even though there were 20 people there, it felt like it was just the two of them. That is the power of focused attention. It's a way of saying, you have my heart's attention right now. If you find these stories helpful, feel free to join our community and stay a while. We love talking about these deep human patterns. Now we come to the third signal, and this is the one I told you was the most powerful. It is all about space. Most men walk right past this sign, but once you see it, you will see it everywhere. When a woman feels a spark, she will often try to create a little bit of privacy, even if you are in a big crowd of people. Think about how most parties or meetings go. Everyone is in a big group, talking and laughing. But if a woman likes you, she might try to shrink that world down. She won't do anything dramatic like pulling you into another room. It's much more subtle. She might lean in and say, hey, come look at this view for a second. Or let's go grab a fresh drink. She might lower her voice so that only you can hear what she's saying. These little shifts are her way of creating a tiny bubble where it's just the two of you. Why does she do this? Because she wants to see what happens when the rest of the world fades away. She wants to see if you stay present with her. She's giving you an invitation to step a little closer into her world. I knew a man who went to a wedding. There were people everywhere, but a lady he had just met asked him to help her find a photo album on a side table. They stood there for 20 minutes, looking at pictures of people they didn't even know. Later, he realized the pictures didn't matter at all. She just wanted a quiet moment to be near him without everyone else watching. When a woman creates these moments, she is watching how you respond. She isn't testing you to be mean. She's just seeing if you feel the same way. Do you lean in? Do you listen? Do you stay calm and happy? One of the most attractive things you can do is just be there, in the moment, without trying to force anything. When you recognize these signs, the touch, the eyes, and the private space, you don't have to feel confused anymore. You can just relax and be yourself. I want to leave you with a final thought. Understanding these whispers isn't about being a detective or trying to trick anyone. It's about being aware. It's about noticing the beautiful ways humans reach out to one another. You don't have to have a perfect line or a fancy car. You just need to be a good observer and a kind responder. There was another man who thought he was just plain bad at meeting people. He thought you had to be a movie star to get a lady's attention. But one day at a coffee shop, he just started a simple talk with a woman nearby. He noticed she touched his arm, she looked him in the eye, and then she asked if he wanted to sit at a quieter table. For the first time, he saw the signs. He didn't panic. He just sat down and enjoyed the talk. He told me later, "I didn't have to make anything happen. I just noticed what was already happening." That is such a powerful way to live. It takes the pressure off. So here is a little challenge for you. The next time you are out in the world, just watch. Don't worry about what you are going to say. Just look at the eyes of the people you talk to. Notice who leans in. Notice who stays a little longer to say goodbye. You will be amazed at how much people are saying without a single word. If this helped you, maybe share the word whispers with us. It lets us know you are listening and that you are part of this group of caring people. Relationships are about warmth, curiosity, and understanding. When you learn to see the quiet signals, you stop feeling lost. You start to see the beginning of something wonderful. So next time you feel a soft touch on your arm or a gaze that lingers just a bit longer, or someone invites you to a quiet corner, take a breath, smile, and know that something special might be starting. And now you know exactly how to see it. It is a beautiful thing to be seen and to see others. Thank you for spending this time with me. Let's keep walking this path of understanding together, one gentle step at a time.